Hi, I'm Justin the Poodle guy, and I'm going to show you how to set up your Moodle quiz so that the student receives an email notification when the quiz has been graded either manually or automatically when the grading is complete. So in order to make this happen, we're going to give the student role the following capability: mod quiz email notify attempt graded. And we can do that at the course level by modifying the student role at the course level, or we can do it at the site level. If we do it at the site level, that's going to apply right across the board. If we do it at the course level, then we can choose whether or not the students in this course get notifications or not. And the next thing we need to consider is when will they get that email. So by default, they will get it between 5 and 6 hours after the quiz has been graded. And that is because there's a site administration setting for the quiz activity module, and that is attempt notification delay. By default, that's 5 hours. And then after that delay has passed, on the next running of the scheduled task, send quiz attempt graded notifications, they will receive the email. So that'll be anywhere between 5 and 6 hours. The site administrator can change both of those settings so that the notification is sent earlier or later. But that by default is going to be between 5 and 6 hours. The other thing to note here is that when the quiz has been graded will be different if it's an automatically graded quiz and if it's a manually graded quiz, or if there are manually graded questions inside the quiz. So if your quiz has Poodle recording questions or it has essay questions, then they are going to be manually graded. And only after those question responses have been graded will that student's attempt be considered for an attempt notification. Okay, if your quiz has no manually graded questions, if it's just multi-choice and true and false, then they will get, then the attempt will be marked for notification as soon as it's completed because it's graded automatically. Okay, well, let's go now and actually add that capability that we talked about, this one here, to the student role. Okay, so here we are on our Moodle course, and we have a quiz that we're going to use for testing, and that has one manually graded question, the essay question, and one automatically graded question, the true-false question. But before we do that quiz, we want to set that capability to the student role. So we go to Participants, and we choose Permissions. So the location of this particular setting may be different on your theme and on your version of Moodle, but there will be a role like this at the course level. You need to do this at the course level or at the site level. If you do it at the quiz level, it doesn't seem to apply. So we go to Permissions. Okay, and the role that we're going to override or change is the student role. Okay, so you go to Student. It takes a while to load this page because there's so many permissions. Okay, and now we want to look at the capabilities that are available for the quiz. Let's just type in here, quiz. Okay, and there's our permission there, mod quiz email notify attempt graded. There's a similar permission here for email confirm submission, so you can do that also if you wish to. But in this case, the one we're interested in is the quiz email notify attempt graded. So let's go to the allow radio box and set that for our student role. So all of the students in this course now will be notified when their quiz attempts are graded. We need to scroll down and save those changes for them to be applied. Okay, and we can check that if you want to. Where's a mod quiz email notify attempt graded? There you see the student has this permission. There we go. So we're good to test. So let's go back to our course. Now I'm logged in as a teacher here. I want to change to the student role. I actually have a student, I'm actually enrolled as a student in this course, but I currently here as a teacher. So I'm just going to switch my role to student. I go and have a look at this quiz. I'm going to attempt the quiz. Here is my true false question, and let me choose the answer true. And then we have an essay question. How was your weekend? Great. So at this point, the attempt has been submitted, and we have a grade for the true-false question, but we don't yet have a grade for this question here, which is the essay question, because it's a manually graded question. So I'm going to change my role back now to teacher. Okay, and let's go and have a look at our quiz. Look at the attempts. And here I have manual grading. So in a real quiz, there'll be a lot of attempts and a lot of manual grading to be done. But in this case, we just have the one item to manually grade. So let's grade that. Okay, so let's give our user 8 out of 10. Save and go to the next page. Okay, actually we don't have a next page, we're all finished grading. So at this point, the attempt will have been marked for notification, but that notification is not going to happen for another 5 or 6 hours if we haven't altered the default settings. So in 5 or 6 hours, I'm going to check if I've got that email, and then we're going to add that to the end of this video. Okay, I waited the amount of time that I needed to for the attempt to be the attempt notification to take place, and this is what was sent to me. Hi, Justin the Poodle guy, your answers to 1 TF and 1 essay and course Cloud Poodle demo, blah, blah, have now been graded. You will be able to view your score and feedback by visiting this URL and reviewing your attempt. So you can actually modify that text by modifying your language pack in Moodle, but by default, that's the message that your students will get. And they can click on that link, and that will take them to their attempt where they can see the feedback that you've given them and the grade that they've got, depending on the settings for the quiz. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more videos like this. If you want to learn more about Poodle for Moodle or PoodleNet, visit us at poodle.com.